thank you very much for giving us all those updates. We'll keep a close eye on these disturbing developments coming in from Bangladesh. The law and order situation remains tense. It's been happening for over a week now. Shifting our focus to the big discussion that I am having with my panelists today. The Trump administration has delivered the biggest shake-up to America's H1-B visa program, scrapping the random lottery and replacing it with a wage-weighted system that heavily favors top earners and elite skills. Starting February 2026, the higher-paid applicants could see their selection odds surge by over 100%, while entry-level roles face a near 50% plunge in chances. This redirects the 85,000 annual visas towards America's innovation powerhouses, where big tech giants like Amazon, Google and Microsoft, for the hundreds of thousands of years, Indian professionals powering US tech, over 70% of those recipients, the path narrows sharply for fresh graduates, mid-level engineers and small employers. The goal is to prioritize America first by attracting the world's best paid talent, but critics warn it could starve startups of diverse skills and push global innovation elsewhere. Let's open up this conversation. Joining me is Ambassador Basuti Mukherjee. Ambassador, what do you make of this fresh development with regards to, would I say, transformative changes that are being made in granting H1-B visas to applicants? Right from putting in a fee of $100,000 for employers to employ people on H1-B visa, to then rigorously vetting the social media platforms of the applicants of H1-B visa, and then now talking about, I think this is it is going to be the game changer, that you are going to only allow highly skilled workers and with higher wages to enter into your territory, but those at the entry level or lower level are not going to be, or their chances of getting the H1-B visas have been hugely reduced. What is going to be the impact?
Well, Megha, if you look at it from the United States perspective, these H1-B visa holders were working in jobs for which they did not have enough qualified Americans. It was President Trump himself who said a couple of months ago that he cannot take people off a queue of people waiting for food coupons and ask them to develop nuclear missiles for the United States. That is correct. So if he thinks that H1-B visa holders, let's say from India, are taking away American talent, and that if they are super skilled, their American employers need to pay $100,000 US, what will happen is, as you rightly pointed out, first of all, Indians are in high demand everywhere. Secondly, the American employers who want them will ask them to work online from India until Trump finishes his term. It's not going to change anything. You can work online. Thirdly, it's not going to make America great again, because America will be left with huge loopholes in its different businesses and startups, and will also lose the attraction it had for Indian workers, especially when it's accompanied by racist comments like people from Norway and Denmark are welcome to come. Wait a minute, Denmark is not going to come if you annex Greenland, but that's another issue altogether. He wants white people to come. Cool, get your white people. Our Indians will move elsewhere. But
okay.
What will be the American economy, not the Indian economy. And American employers have already started telling prospective H1-B visa applicants, don't worry, we'll fix this for you. You just work from home for the moment. A lot of them have also been told to move to London. My cousin has moved to London, by the way, and he's working online for a big American company. They're just waiting for Trump to finish his term. That again might be short-sighted, because it could very well be that his successor will continue the same policy, in which case people will just move on and find jobs elsewhere.
Okay.
I do believe, Megha, that we should not even waste our time worrying about next crazy move of Trump, because when he gets up in the morning, he says one thing. When he goes to sleep in the evening, he says another thing. So, I mean, I have just given up trying to keep pace with President Trump when he moves.
Professor Madhav Nalapat, what is wrong in protecting the wages and employment of the citizens of your country?
Look, Megha, the fact of the matter is that high skilled talent, the problem is every organization is not run like the Trump organization. Trump organization is a top down organization where you have one man at the top deciding almost everything, and the ones below him are just expected to follow orders of the boss. Quite frankly, that's a recipe for corporate failure. You have to have people from the ground up. You have to have people at the middle level at least, and then the higher level, and then graduate to a very advanced level. You can't just graduate suddenly to the advanced level and then leave the middle level and the higher level, neglected. You cannot do that. An organization would not function effectively. Donald Trump, quite frankly,
No, but then
is
what the US administration is clearly saying by way of making this change is, while we are open to getting highly skilled talent into the country, when it comes to entry level jobs, we would rather ask the employers to hire Americans and not bring in people from abroad, from India or elsewhere, and pay them lesser the amount than an average American would charge for the job that he provides to that employer.
look, Megha, Donald Trump has just allowed NVIDIA to sell its very advanced chips to China. Now, what does this mean? It means that the Chinese, who are good at copycatting technology, in fact, improving on it, in 5 to 10 years, are going to rival American tech. And so, frankly, this decision to allow NVIDIA to send chips to China is a very big mistake. It's going to harm the US tech industry most of all. But in my view, the tech industry is very savvy. They understand what is going on. You have guys like Elon Musk and all that who are there. And they will ensure that some way is found to not dodge, DOGE, but dodge, DODGE, these restrictions. As the ambassador very correctly said, Donald Trump says one thing in the morning and another thing in the night, and one is never very
Okay.
sure going to say it the next day. So, in my view, I'm not worried at all. There are opportunities all over the world for skilled Indian professionals at, for example, Germany, Denmark, Scandinavia, all these countries. They want Indian talent and they like Indian talent because Indians are law abiding, they work hard, and they pay a lot of taxes. They pay their taxes honestly. So, quite frankly, I'm not worried for Indians at all. Our people will find jobs. Secondly, I would say the US tech industry is already looking at India as an alternative a place to invest in, because now you have this concept of China plus one, and that plus one usually is India because of its manpower, but there has to be a little more refinement of regulations and taxes. And in that case, I can tell you it will be a magnet attracting a huge flow of international investment. In fact, like the H1-B visa was completely monopolized almost by Indian workers. India can almost monopolize external investment
Yeah.
if there's a bit of regulatory, changes and taxation changes. And I'm sure Prime Minister Modi is aware of what these are. I'm looking forward to that happening during Modi 3.0 mega.
Okay. Andrew Latham is also in the show with me, on the show with me. And Andrew, how do you think this overhaul for the H1-B visa holders is going to impact the average American and the job market?
Well, it is, and it's intended to do so. There are only three models really for this kind of high-end talent-based immigration. One is let the market sort it out, have no regulations, anybody who wants to come can come. And that's proven around the world to be largely unworkable. The other model is to have a lottery in which fate determines who gets a visa to come here. And that strikes me as at least marginally inefficient. It doesn't guarantee that you have any labor shortages at any level, entry level, mid level, upper level. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to have any of those filled. It's just luck. And the third approach, which is targeted. If there is a shortage of labor, and this is where I think this particular policy specifically goes wrong, but in principle, there's nothing wrong with trying to attract people to fill gaps in your labor market at whatever level. And I'll say parenthetically, when I immigrated to the United States, it was under a NAFTA visa, North American Free Trade Agreement visa. The institution that hired me had to certify that I was, believe it or not, the best qualified applicant on the entire planet. And then I was allowed to come here and after a number of years become, I know it's funny, isn't it? Become an American citizen. I'm not advocating for that, and I'm not advocating for this policy, which seems to be skewed towards certain firms hiring at certain talent levels and ignoring the pipeline reality, which is, as Professor Nalpat put it earlier, you need to hire at the lower levels and at the mid levels to ensure that you have those higher levels. So in principle, I don't have a problem with it. In practice, the way this is being implemented, it seems suboptimal, counterproductive, and probably just plain stupid.
Okay. Dr. Sharad Kohli, again, what kind of upheavals are expected, keeping in mind there are hundreds and thousands of Indian students who travel to United States of America to get that coveted degree. They are chasing their American dream, and with hiccups such as these, they will have to look at greener pastures, maybe in Canada or Germany and other countries across the globe. But you think in the longer run, this is a win-win situation for both Indian workers as well as for America?
Good evening, Megha, to you, my fellow panelists and NewsX viewers. Allow me to first, comment on what Ambassador Mukherjee said. She spoke of President Trump being different man in the morning, different man in the evening. I would like to add another hour to that. What about afternoon and hour after hour? There are many hours. In fact, I have invented a Trump mood index. It's called TMI. And we've actually plotted this index and we study the stock markets, the metal prices, world economy through the Trump mood index. It goes up and down, up and down. Believe me, it's like ECG plotted on a paper. And adding to what Andrew said, he said he was asked to prove he's the best man on earth. He is the best man on earth. I mean, I've been hearing it for a very long time. So Andrew, there's no doubt about that. As for the visas, look at the flaw here. The flaw is you said highly skilled, highly paid. Okay. Now first of all, you are admitting. This is mega out of what you said. You are admitting that Americans are not highly skilled because you said at the lower levels, take Americans. At the higher levels, you import people. So you are first of all admitting that at the entry level, there are no Americans, for the highly skilled slots, which is true. I'm sorry to say that. I don't mean to demean anybody. And I'm not sounding racist, but there is a very massive deficiency of skill in America, which is why these people came. Then how do you define highly skilled? Are you going to set up a managerial grade? Are you going to set up, and it also speaks of pay scale. So anybody who's over $100,000, $150,000 or probably $500,000.
Those levels are already decided. That's exactly how H1-B visa lottery process is. That you are in level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 4 is described, it's defined with those certain terms, whether you're highly skilled, what is it that you're skilled in, and those demarcations have been made, and that's on the basis of which H1-B visas are given. It's just the demarcation that instead of a random lottery, the chances of a person who is in level 4 are going to increase 107 times because in the lottery system your name comes 4 times versus the one in level 1 where your name is going to be put in just once. So your chances drop by 48%. So that's the math. But again, the question, if we put this across, if we were in India and we were a country which was rich in resources. We had the best technological firms. We had a very robust manufacturing sector, and we were attracting employment opportunities from all across the globe. And then if we are wanting to get people at a cheaper rate to be employed in organizations and firms in our country, thereby not letting the people in India to thrive because their jobs are being stolen by those who are coming abroad and into your country, how do you think the government of India would have resolved the issue?
Megha, I wanted to say that, but you didn't allow me to finish. I've been working with American startups. I mentor about 200 startups in Silicon Valley. I've been working for 35 years. I wanted to come to that point. I have read the grades. The grade is very subjective. And the tech companies, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, NVIDIA, if you speak to those people, this is what they have to say. That how do you define skill? Because once you're an IT professional and you walk in, you gradually upgrade yourself. You're promoted sometimes not by skill, but by experience, because you've handled so many number of clients. So there is a lot of subjectivity in the whole thing. Highly paid also is very subjective. In other words, what you're trying to say is, Indians don't come here because you come for $100,000. So don't come here. I think it is better for Donald Trump to directly say that we don't want Indians because 70% of the H1-B visas are Indians. So I think it is a better way to say that the doors are shut for you because you are the guys coming here. And mind you, these entry-level professionals today, Megha, today are the CEOs and CFOs of most of American top-class organizations. They came here as H1-B visa at the entry level. And above all, there is a definite shortage of talent. If he stops at this point, why do you think the chambers filed a suit against Trump administration? Because out of H1-B visas, because they knew they're not going to find people. If you stop these people here, there is no talent. And I think President Trump forgot that if today Amazon is Amazon or Meta is Meta or all these tech companies are today global giants, it is only because there is an Indian mind behind. I can guarantee you, Megha, if today you take out Indian talent from these companies, I'm making a big statement here. I can guarantee these companies would come to a standstill. All the innovation will stop. All the new products will stop. Their turnovers will fall. If you take out Indians from there, somebody wants to try doing that, I think President Trump, and as far as the Trump administration is concerned, by a Trump organization is concerned, do you think it needs a lot of talent? It is into hotels. It is into real estate. And as Professor Nalapad said, it's a top-down organization. You really don't need talent. All you need is yes men there. So I think this is a suicidal move. The repercussions, implications of this move are going to be realized in the next 1 to 2 years, when you will find these tech companies being strangulated for talent. And how will they expand? How will they move forward? Because let's not forget that technology needs constant innovation. And when these techies, they come, I've been in touch with 200 of these techies who set up their startups. They say this is a constant process. It goes on 24 hours. We don't know when we discover something. And when we innovate, we find something and we start implementing and bingo, it clicks. So I think the Trump administration seems to be far off from the reality. They're going to pay this through their nose. It's one of the many suicidal decisions taken by the Trump administration. We have the greenest pasture of them, Megha, is here in India. Why look at Canada and Germany? The greenest pasture is here. We don't need to look anywhere. Our country is very much in a position to absorb these techies. And I'm sure they'll get to stay with their families as well, because they leave their parents for here and they go and work there and they don't find time to come back.
Now, I was coming to that, Ambassador Mukherjee. Again, there is the other side of the coin. When we're talking about building capacity centers, building manufacturing enterprises here in India itself to allow for creating job opportunities. But the fact that there is a large-scale unemployment that still continues to exist in India, and for that matter, there's a similar problem being faced by China and other countries that are hugely populated, and this happens only in the regions of Asia and Africa. Do you think it is going to take a long gestation period for India to set up its manufacturing prowess to allow for absorbing all the talent, all the youth that are looking for employment? In the meantime, what are the alternatives?
First of all, I have to say, Megha, that I completely agree with Dr. Sharad Kohli, and to say that we are the fourth largest economy, soon to become the third. We will absorb all these techies. We will not encourage them to go to Canada or to Germany or to Australia. They will come back here. It's a vastly changed India. The country has changed. The unemployment is at the rural level, at the agricultural level, etc., because Indians want to move from agriculture to urban areas, which is why our cities are facing, for example, the pollution crisis that is going on. These techies will come back here and they will help to make India great again. Why should they stay in the United States and make America great again? We want them back. We will create opportunities for them. We have a great government here. We have great innovation here. People are looking at us with gracious eyes, Megha.
Yeah, but then it's all nice to hear and say that yes, India will become great. It is, again, like I said, it's a 30-year gestation period. It is a golden opportunity for India. We are still a country that only exports textiles and pharmaceutical, and we don't even have the IPs. So a situation such as this, where the largest of the talent is going to be attracted by the huge pay packages that are being offered by organizations across the globe, and that's exactly why people travel out of India or they travel out of China and are working in these biggest tech firms or other firms across the globe. So until and unless we are going to be able to retain our best talent, the highly skilled people, only if we are providing them pay packages that are at a competitive level as in America, or for that matter as in London, and so on and so forth. So if we talk about brass tacks and how we stand as a country, as an economy, and our potential to absorb the millions and millions of people who are looking for employment at this point of time, and I have faced the same issue. For one job posting, I get about 1,000 people. Out of the 1,000 people, there are only 5% of them that are actually qualified for the job, which is also an unfortunate situation. Then we question about our education system itself and whether it is adequate to allow for youth to work in organizations, whether they can be recruited in the organizations. Are they good enough to be recruited in organizations? Coming back to you, Professor Nalapat, again a long-term plan. Are we at this point of time seeing within a span of 3 to 4 years, this talent is going to move from United States of America to Canada? There are some lenient laws that have been announced. Germany has been welcoming Indians with open arms, saying that we are going to further bring about changes, liberalize our visa policies. We want Indian techies right after these mandates were put out by the Trump administration.
Yeah, Megha, quite frankly, the US has got a big board on its entry levels at the immigration counter, and that is welcome to the US. Trump should probably change that board to "You are not welcome in the US," and have, as has correctly been said, a special category for people who are most unwelcome, and that's India. I don't know why he's got this fixation about India, but the reality of the situation is that tech companies are smart, Indians are smart, they'll find a way around. And as for me, I believe Indians have the right, as citizens of democracy, to live and work anywhere. And if they find a better opportunity in India, of course they're going to take advantage of that opportunity in India. I mean, now you have in India, for example, one example I'll tell you, and that is in the tech industry. Bangalore was once a magnet for tech. It is still a very attractive destination for tech, but because of the traffic jams and because of the heavy delays involved, smaller towns and smaller cities are now also attracting tech. So I'd like to point out that India has the potential, and yes, Prime Minister Modi had developed a lot of that potential, especially after 2014. We were on we came on a fast track from the
Okay.
old growth to some what I could call the Modi rate of growth. But frankly, we can't be self-satisfied and say, oh, well, we have done all that we can. We can do more and we should do more. And I can assure you, I'm very certain in Modi 3.0, you're going to see a lot of changes, a lot of reforms,
Okay.
and these
Yeah.
permanent
Okay.
changes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Andrew, later I'm coming to you, and you know this is what the Trump administration has done. On one end, it has disallowed people, employees to enter into America, and on the other hand, it is not allowing its big tech companies, whether it is Amazon or Google or Apple, to manufacture outside of America. There have been, in fact, billions of dollars worth of investment that have been made by Apple and Amazon and Google here in on Indian soil, because it just is so much more lucrative for them to set up their centers here and hire cheap talent versus working in America and I don't know, paying triple, 5 times the amount they would have paid to hire an American employee. How do you think this is going to work out? Do you think this is going to bring about slowdown in the economy in the course of the next few years?
Well, there are some tensions here at play. If the goal of the government, the Trump administration, is to onshore, as they like to put it, these high-value added, cutting-edge industries, then you need to make sure that there's a workforce adequate to that. And that involves not just admitting Indian workers disproportionately, which is a good thing. I don't care where the talent comes from. The United States should be hoovering it up. But the other way that a firm can handle this, of course, is, as you say, to set up manufacturing or R&D facilities abroad where the wages are lower, but the talent is just as good. From a corporate perspective, that's a preferable option in many respects. From an American national security and American national economic perspective, that's a suboptimal outcome. But the Trump administration needs to sort out what it wants to do here. I would say this parenthetically, that many Western countries are beginning to close down their immigration pipelines, whether it's of high-skilled workers or refugees or asylum seekers or students. And Canada, by the way, is leading the charge in that respect. The Canadian population last year, for the first time since the Second World War, actually declined because the spigot, the tap, has been turned off in terms of allowing skilled and unskilled labor to simply migrate to Canada under various schemes. And we see similar things happening in various parts of Europe as well. This is a moment of flux. This is an inflection point. A lot of governments need to sort out what they want to do. Do they want to pander to firms and allow them, their national firms, to make the best profits and to attract the best talent wherever it is in the globe? Or do they want to onshore this production and R&D work, in which case they have to rethink their immigration policies again.
Right.
And I think the old world is dead, the new world is yet to be born, and as Antonio Gramsci once put it, this is a time of monsters. We're caught in between, and nobody is going to be happy. Nobody is happy with the status quo.
All right. On that note, I'm out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast, sharing your views. Stay tuned on NewsX.